The topic of our presentation is globalization. Today, we are going to speak about its reasons, positive and negative impacts, and so on. Globalization is the process by which the world is becoming increasingly interconnected as a result of massively increased trade and cultural exchange. Globalization has increased the production of goods and services. The biggest companies are no longer national firms, but multinational corporations with subsidiaries in many countries.
Globalization has been taking place for hundreds of years, but has speeded up enormously over the last half-century. Globalization has resulted in increased international trade, a company operating in more than one country, greater dependence on the global economy, freer movement of capital, goods and services, and recognition of companies such as McDonald's and Starbucks in LEDCs.
There are several key factors which have influenced the process of globalization, such as improvements in transportation. Larger cargo ships means that the cost of transporting goods between countries has decreased. Transport improvements also means that goods and people can travel more quickly. Freedom of trade. Organizations like the World Trade Organization promote free trade between countries, which help to remove barriers between countries. Improvements of communications. The internet and mobile technology has allowed greater communication between people in different countries. Labor availability and skills. Countries such as India have lower labor costs and also high skill levels. Labor-intensive industries such as clothing can take advantage of cheaper labor costs and reduced legal restrictions in LEDCs.
Globalization has resulted in many businesses setting up or buying operations in other countries. Companies that operate in several countries are called multinational corporations. Factors attracting TNCs to a country may include cheap raw materials, cheap labor supply, good transport, access to markets where the goods are sold, and friendly government policies.
Positive impacts of globalization are inward investment by TNCs helps countries by providing new jobs and skills for local people. TNCs bring wealth and foreign currency to local economies when they buy local resources, products, and services. The sharing of ideas, experiences, and lifestyles of people and cultures. People can experience foods and other products not previously available in their countries. Globalization increases awareness of events in faraway parts of the world. Globalization may help to make people more aware of global issues such as deforestation and global warming, and alert them to the need for sustainable development.
Negative impacts of globalization are globalization operates mostly in the interests of the richest countries, while the developing countries are the source of cheap labor and raw materials. There are no guarantees that the wealth from inward investment will benefit the local community. Transnational companies may drive local companies out of business. If it becomes cheaper to operate in another country, the TNC might close down the factory and make local people redundant. An absence of strictly enforced international laws means the TNCs may pollute the environment, run risks with safety, or impose poor working conditions and low wages on local workers. Globalization is viewed by many as a threat to the world's cultural diversity. It is feared it might drown up local economies, traditions, and languages. Industry may begin to thrive in LEDCs at the expense of jobs in manufacturing in the UK and another MEDCs, especially in textiles.
Here is the rating of top 10 countries in the Globalization Index 2016. The first place belongs to Netherlands, the second to Ireland, and the third to Belgium. Ukraine is on the 41st position of the 100 countries in the rank.
All in all, globalization is a specific phenomenon which has its advantages and disadvantages, but only time can show if it is useful or not. Thank you for attention.